So I was having this conversation with a client who's now considered a friend. And we were talking about how distracted we all are by our present circumstances on a constant basis that we sometimes have to snap ourselves out of the rat race. We get so caught up in achieving new heights in our careers or building and nurturing new friendships. Shoot, we even get distracted by wanting to travel more and shop more and all this material and non eternal stuff that we forget God put us on this earth for a greater purpose. John MacArthur, who's one of my favorite pastors, he once said, "We go throughout this life like God designed us to be food machines and mannequins." All we are consumed with is what we have on and what we're eating. When Luke 12:23 tells us, life is more than food, and our bodies are more than clothing. We have to be sure to remind ourselves daily that I am put on this earth to carry out a purpose for the kingdom. If it's not eternal, then it's temporary. And eternity is what really matters. This life will seem like a day in length compared to the time we'll spend in eternity with God. So me and my friend were also talking about how radical the people who've already left this earth would be if they came back for even a day. They would probably be considered crazy because they've already tasted and seen that the Lord is good. They've already seen heaven. Can you imagine? Bigger houses and six figures and stacking money would not be on the top of their to-do list. And I can guarantee you that. By all means, be good stewards of what you have and work hard and be diligent. And thank God for what He's blessed you with. Make wise choices and yes, of course, plan for the future. But don't be consumed with the cares of this world. MacArthur also said, if God gave you life, which He did, if He wants you to live, and He does, if He brought you into His kingdom, and He has, then He has a purpose for you to fulfill in His kingdom to His glory. So He will sustain you until it's fulfilled. It wouldn't make sense for God to save you, give you spiritual life, and give you a purpose, a destiny, and a plan, and gift you with all these good gifts, and then say, well, you got to sustain yourself. All of this is available to you as long as you keep yourself together. That would not make sense, y'all. So we have to trust God's plan for our life. We have to release control. Let God be in the driver's seat. As long as God has an unfolding plan for your life, He will sustain you. Listen, y'all, we are not obligated to keep ourselves in check. We are not obligated to sustain ourselves. God created us, so He's responsible for sustaining us. That is not our job. So be free. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 8 says, "And God is able to make all grace abound to you, so that having all sufficiency in all things at all times, you may abound in every good work." Matthew 6:25 says, "Do not be anxious about your life." Psalms 55:22 says, "Cast your burden on the Lord, and He will sustain you." John 14:27 says, "Peace I leave with you." Isaiah 41:10 says, "Fear not, for I am with you." And lastly, Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and I will restore your fortunes and gather you from all the nations and all the places where I have driven you, declares the Lord." And I know we all have goals, we all have plans and dreams for the time that we're going to spend here on earth, but we have to remember that this time is temporary and eternity is so much longer than the time we'll have here. So we have to be focused on the things above. We have to continue to remind ourselves that this is not my home and I'm just passing through. But in the meantime, serve, love one another, but keep our minds and our thoughts on the things above. Don't fall into the trap of capitalism, materialism, all the isms, because it'll suck the joy out of life. Trust God with your future. He got you, sis. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, I have a podcast called Sacred 7 that's available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts with other podcasts that you can listen to just like this without the visual, of course. If you like this video, please subscribe, like it, share it, leave a comment below. Thank you so much again for watching, and until next time, peace.